Tonight,
we will be giving preference to local workers before we try to bring anybody in from outside of town.
a multi-trade company is coming to Lloydminster, bringing optimism for local unemployed workers. Plus,
it's not understanding how they arrived at the number. That's what I'm talking about. It's not confusion. It's just not knowing how we got there.
the lights will stay on at City Hall as Council approves an interim budget.
This is Newcap News with Adam McVicker.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Husky Energy says it's planning to increase both capital spending and daily production next year. It expects to spend between $2.6 and $2.7 billion on capital spending projects, up from about $2 billion this year. Husky also says its average daily production for this year is on track to be between 318 and 320,000 barrels per day and will rise to between 320,000 and 335,000 barrels per day in 2017. Production is expected to rise at its Sunrise oil sands operation northeast of Fort McMurray, as well as from several heavy oil thermal projects, mostly in the Lloydminster area. Well, a multi-trade company is hoping to bring hundreds of jobs to the Lloydminster area in the new year. And good news for local workers, your applications will be looked at first. Gina Martin explains why now might be a good time to brush up your resume.
Newcart Contracting Limited has had projects in the Lloydminster area for years, including a current maintenance crew at the Husky Upgrader. They have gained so much traction in the region, it only made sense to uproot from their Rocky Mountain house base and call the Border City home.
For us, we have a maintenance crew at the Upgrader. We've had an embedded crew there that works with Husky for almost 2 years now. So those people being there and the potential for more is what brought us to have a location here.
And they certainly have enough space with a 10,000 square foot workshop on 3.3 acres of land at the east end of the city. But with all the room comes a need for staff, which could be anywhere from 400 to 600 workers during the turnaround.
We will be giving preference to local workers before we try to bring anybody in from outside of town. We know in order to succeed in the community, you have to support it as well.
Support Lloydminster Economic Development believes will boost the community. But for how long?
Certainly in the short term, we're going to have a lot of support from the turnaround from those employees that Newcart's going to have and the other contractors who will benefit the region.
Reed adds this business could also provide spin-off benefits to other businesses in Lloydminster, whether it be retail or restaurants. There is a hope, too, it will set the stage for similar companies to come to the area.
Lloyd is certainly a place where trades workers have a lot of generally have a lot of opportunity, be it through things like steam pipe fitters and so on, but as well in construction trades, carpentry and so on.
Newcart has already started to receive applications from prospective employers, but won't be able to start processing them until January or February when they are more settled. Gina Martin, Newcap News.
Well, after a lengthy debate, Lloydminster City Council has passed an interim budget. The move allows the city to continue operating and supplying core services while council delves into the inner details of the cost-cutting strategies.
All right, I will ask for any additions or deletions to the agenda at this time.
After Monday's council meeting, one thing is for certain: the lights at City Hall will stay on. The 2017 budget was presented balanced by administration after an estimated $10.5 million deficit in October, but City Council decided to pass the budget on an interim basis.
So what we've got now is we've got an ability for the the administration to operate the city where we now have the opportunity to spend a little more time, question administration, and get the details that we need to be able to come out and answer to you in questions through the media, through the public, through inquiries. Where is this money being spent?
The main concern echoed during Monday's meeting was a lack of information around how administration managed to balance the budget.
The reality is I didn't put too much stock in getting this budget completed today based on the fact that I knew it wasn't presented in a format that I could actually make a decision on.
It's not understanding how they arrived at the number. That's what I'm talking about. It's not confusion. It's just not knowing how we got there.
This prompted City Council to request line-by-line department reports on how efficiencies were made.
There are two lines around operating expenses in there, and They showed basically a reduction of around $5 million, and so trying to wrap my head around what that $5 million means. Does it mean reduction of staff, reduction of services? Are there strategies for efficiencies? I believe when we leave City Council and approve the budget, we need to be able to speak to those and support it and show that we've done due diligence in terms of making sure that we understand it from as much detail as possible.
As for the third-party funding requests and the proposed 4% increase to the municipal levy, nothing is set in stone.
Let's be honest, no one wants a tax increase. If I could bring a budget in and lead the budget and lead council to a 2%, that would be a more realistic number. Our previous councils and administration have done the best they could do with what they had. Now this is where we're going to be put into the position that it may be a 4%.
But administration says they're at the end of their rope for cost cutting.
We've pared this thing back a lot, and it comes now to service level. It could be people. Service levels could mean people.
The budget will be revisited by the end of January or when all budget items are reviewed. Council's next meeting is slated for January 16th.
Well, the Lloydminster restaurant is doing what it can to give people a full plate this holiday season. Throughout the week, both Mary Brown's locations are accepting donations for the Salvation Army Food Bank. Restaurant owner Tyler Jarvis says people who bring a donation will not walk away empty-handed.
Anybody can come in and bring a food bank item in, and we'll trade for every Big Mary. So the donation could be one can food for a Big Mary, or it can be a dozen cans for a Big Mary, and the proceeds will go towards the food bank.
He adds this is an opportunity to give back to the community that has helped him.
I mean, the economy right now is such that it's slow, and we felt it, and I know there's lots of people that are feeling a lot worse than we are. And it's important. The food bank is suffering in Lloyd, and people are suffering in Lloyd, and it's important that we do give back.
The food drive continues until Saturday. Well, 2 dogs are the focus of this week's pet project. Kanye is a 2-year-old Border Collie Rottweiler cross, and Goatee is a 10-month-old Terrier Lab cross. Here's John from the SPCA.
Are you looking for a lovable dog who loves to play? Then you just have to meet Kanye, a 2-year-old Border Collie Rottweiler cross. Life is just one big game to Kanye. He simply can't get enough of running and playing fetch or just being next to you. Kanye can get a little over-enthusiastic at times and sometimes forgets his size, so he would be better suited to a home with older children. Kanye is a true example of a lifelong friend. No matter if you've had a hard day, a few minutes with Kanye and all the weight of the world will disappear. Don't miss out on this very special fellow. Be sure to stop by the SPCA and meet Kanye today. One look at Goatee, a 10-month-old Terrier Labrador cross, and your heart will melt. This guy is simply adorable, and he's got a wonderful personality too. Goatee just adores people. To him, everyone is a friend, and you can tell he simply can't wait to meet you the minute you see him. Goatee is still young and is trying to figure out his size, so he can be a little clumsy at times, but that makes him all the more endearing. With his big heart and gentle demeanor, we're sure that Goatee will be a welcome addition to any family. Help give Goatee a wonderful first Christmas with the best present of all, a loving home. Be sure to stop by the SPCA and meet Goatee today. You'll be so glad you did.
Now, every hockey player has their own way of preparing for a game. In this week's Beyond the Boards, Drew Miller sits down with Austin McGrath to see what he does before every game to get in the zone.
For starting goaltender Austin McGrath, it's business as usual. He gets on the ice, does some stretches, saves some pucks, and he's ready for the game. But there's a lot more to his pregame routine than the warm-up skate.
Usually starts getting to the rink about 2.5 hours before the game starts.
And out comes certain ball drills to work on reflexes and his peripheral vision.
It gets your hands moving around, you're used to grabbing pucks or things like that, and your eyes start moving, they're picking up the quickness once you start moving the ball pretty fast. So you get warmed up for tracking and you're ready to go once you get on the ice.
Now that he is satisfied with how his ball drills went, it's time to prepare the mind.
Go out somewhere, usually on the bench where I can see the ice, and just sort of visualize on the ice, different plays, common things that happen in games, just to sort of get myself focused, and I'm prepared for those plays so that the easy plays are easy when I'm in the game. I'm ready for them. I've already gone through it in my head, and I'm ready to go once the puck drops.
But what exactly is he feeling during this deep visualization?
I don't know if I'd class it as intense, but not quite relaxed either. It's just sort of your body's a little tense. You know, it's like you're in the game. You're visualizing the play happening. You know, you're feeling with your body what it would feel like to, you know, make saves, or you're doing the movements so that you're not just seeing it. You know, you're feeling it.
By having this warm-up routine, he can be confident he prepared well for the game.
If I give 100% of what I can do, then the other factors, I mean, the way they impact the game, it's not so focused on win or lose. It's I've done my part, and there's nothing more I could have done.
Drew Miller, Newcap Sports.